Hi, as promised, I've got some more bulbs to show you. These are mainly photographic lamps, not all, but most of them are the ones that I've got. Anyway, to start off with, you have seen one of these before. This is an Argo photo, which is 115 volts. It's 500 watts. There's all the blurb there about it, made in Holland. It's a photo flood type lamp, so obviously life expectancy is fairly short, so if you've got one of these, only show it if it's on reduced power. There's the box. I think it's quite old, so much so I don't even remember where I picked this one up. So many boot sales I've been to and various places. Anyhow, let's show you the bulb. There's the actual bulb or lamp. It's exactly the same shape as the other one I showed earlier. I don't know whether it was one I put on the lighting gallery or not. I get confused putting the stuff on. There's the base Edison screw with the extra shoulder, which is isolated from the base. As you can see, the connecting wire goes through but doesn't actually touch on that, and you've got the normal screw base. This lamp, as far as I know, has never ever been used. It functions okay, and looking at the lead-in wires, it looks like they are both fused, which is a bit unusual because this is on a lower voltage. Normally, as my friend pointed out, the lower voltage stuff wasn't normally fused, but perhaps they thought it was important in this case, because it is running 500 watts, so it's there's a bit of current there. So there's an example which has got fuses. Well, at least that's what I think they are. They're definitely in two little glass tubes. And I remember years ago when I was at school, we had to draw a picture of a light bulb, and I thought, well, I'm going to be extra clever. I drew the picture and included fuses, which they had, and I was told I was silly. Just shows you, doesn't it, how you remember these things. Let's have a look at another bulb. Once again, I may have shown this before. There's the box that it came out of. It's a Mazda projector lamp. That's the English Mazda. Note the BTH symbol. The actual symbol is very, very similar to the GE symbol we see in America, simply because BTH was the English branch of General Electric. Let's have a look at the lamp. There's the lamp itself. Once again, you have the inside connecting wires, very, very shiny. And looking at the filament, or filaments I should say, there's more than one. This, I suppose you could say, is a multi-filament lamp. They're all in parallel, and this lamp also has not been used. There's quite a few there. I won't count them, but if you want to count them, there they are on there. I'll hold it on. Very well made lamp. It's a GES, Giant Edison screw, or Goliath Edison screw. Don't ask me what the number is, I can never remember. It says burn cap down, so obviously that is the way it would go. So all the heat would go to the top of the lamp and you'd keep the cap or base fairly cool. You can see it's an old one, a ceramic, or now what did Alex say? This was asbestos, I think, mixed with a ceramic, I believe. I'm not too sure, but I think the word asbestos was used. Once again, with asbestos you're perfectly safe as long as it's not cut or filed to produce it in fine air. It's the tiny particles of asbestos which cause the problem. So if you're taking a shed down in the garden which is covered in asbestos, which they used to be, keep it wet, keep it sprayed with water, so if there was any loose bits flying about, they're trapped within the water and they're not going to get into your lungs. And obviously wear protective breathing gear that is certified for asbestos use. Anyhow, the end of a little warning on that. I do like to add these little things as I go along. That was the Mazda lamp. Now what have we got next? As I say, it's awkward getting these things out when you can only use one hand. I'm afraid I'm not like some of the people that put these on. They've obviously got the cameras on a tripod. I could do the same, but I like to be able to move the camera about and focus on various things. Anyhow, we got, yet again got another Mazda. This time it was under AEI, which is Associated Electrical Industries. This is a much later lamp. You've got the data there. AEI Lamp and Lighting Company, Melton Road, Leicester. So we know that this lamp was actually made in Leicester over here. Leicester, if you don't know, is on the road towards the Midlands. It's where they make a lot of crisps. I'm not allowed crisps. There we are. Let's have a look at the bulb. There's the lamp. That'll give you an idea of the size. Have a close-up of the filaments. That's a normal type of filament. You'd burn this lamp upright as well, as indicated by the black top. Give you an idea of the wattage and everything. It's 240 volts, so it's mains voltage at 300 watts. So it's pretty bright. Mazda, made in England, and it is designated A1 183, and 72 I think is the code. Whether that refers to the year, it could do, I don't know. I don't know if you've got any ideas, Alec. As I say, you're pretty hot when it comes to aging bulbs and working out how the codes work. I can never work them out. Anyhow, that's a little Mazda. That's a small bayonet cap, centre contact. So it'd be designated as SCC, small centre contact, referring to the contact one at the base and the other contact is the shell around it. Now what we're looking at, a smaller lamp. We got another one here. This has got, I don't know what you'd call this this type of base. Alex, I need help. What would you call that base? It's got three pegs one side and one peg the other, which means you can only put this in one way, obviously, so the filament, this flat wound filament there, I'll try and liven it up a bit. See, it's a flat wound job, beautifully made again. These projector lamps tended to be well made. Wish this blooming camera would get into focus. There, it's showing a bit of focus now. And obviously I think you'll find that it will be burnt that way round. Projector lamp, quite old. I don't know the date, but it is quite old. The box is that red box next to the lamp, projector lamp, so it's fairly old. 1950s could it be? 50s or 60s. Anyhow, that's the lamp. Did I give you the voltage? I didn't, did I? There's the blurb that's on the side. 12 volts, 100 watt. And there's the designation again. It's A1, as the other one was, A1, and the number stroke 193, and the code underneath is UL. But it doesn't stand for Underwriters Laboratories. If it was in America, yes, it may be, but this UL means, I imagine, would be the lamp code, the date when it was made. There's the lamp itself. Next up we have, show you the box it came in. This is not a photographic lamp, by the way. In the older days they had, whether you can still get them, you probably can, a lamp which you could suntan in front of. I wouldn't advise it, but that's what they used to do. It was ultraviolet. Now, ultraviolet is not a very pleasant ray. There's a picture on the box, see? Indicates it's a sun ray. There's someone sunbathing there. And this is to show you that it's equivalent to the sunshine. But beware. There's the lamp. There's any writing or anything. Yeah, we've got a little bit of writing on there. It's got the type MLU, 300 watts, ultraviolet. Let's have a little look at the bulb. Which is a normal reflector type. The German equivalent of this, made by Wotan, Neuron, or Osram, they're all the same company, just with the three different names. Neuron was a name used many years ago in England. That's N-U-R-E-N, Neuron. Wotan was used later, and they were all under the German Osram. Inside you've got a ballast and an arc tube. You obviously can't see it. On the front you've got a lovely etch with the type and everything. This was made in, made in Great Britain. It was made over here, probably at their works in Croydon, but I'm not 100% sure of that. They're definitely made over here. Ultraviolet, what's that say round the corner? It's got the voltage, 220 volts, 240 Phillips. So that can be plugged into, I was going to say, a normal BC holder. But let's have a closer look at the actual holder. There's the holder. So it wouldn't go into a normal BC holder. It has to be fitted into a 3-pegged type holder. That way it makes sure you're not going to accidentally put it into a normal light socket. Funny enough, British Rail, in their internal lights in the carriages at one time, and I've got a bulb which I can show you, it's actually a mushroom type bulb, obviously low voltage. That too used this type of cap with the 3 pegs. I think you also find it on some sodium lamps, natrium lamps if you like. There's all a way of preventing you plugging it in to the wrong type of holder. I believe they did make these with a normal type of holder, but in this case they didn't. Once again, the bulb is brand new, so I suppose you'd call it new old stock. And as I say, if you've got one of these and you're using it with care, it does give out UV, which is not too good for health. Now we're coming up to the last 2 of this little batch. You might be saying, thank heavens, I can have a bit of a break. Well, I'm going to have a cup of tea after this. We've got a lamp here. Once again, I may have shown this or one like it in the past. It's made by Atlas. Atlas was a name brought about by Jules Thorne, who originally imported lamps from abroad, foreign lamps, and they were sold at a much cheaper price than the English made lamps. So he wasn't very popular with the main lamp makers over here, but that is how he started up, Jules Thorne. There's the lamp once again, A1, 207, 240 volts, 1000 watts. A7, now that A7 possibly is an age code, and the type of base. One of the things that I mentioned, that this is a valve base, but I was corrected. I won't say who, but you can probably guess. He was quite right. And this is what I like about YouTube. We don't know everything. Well, I certainly don't. And it's nice when someone pipes up and says, hey, you got the wrong holder. It's known as a so-and-so, and he did, and I'm grateful. Thank you, Alex. I'll put that one up. As I say, you know what this is called. I don't, so add that, and I'll put it on the my little write-up that I can put up. I must admit, I'm more interested in the actual construction and thing. I tend to not go too much into the bases, but they're just as important. There's the filament, and there's a reflector behind it. God, it's making my eyes funny looking at that. So I'm going to clear down very soon. Yeah, my eyes have gone a bit funny. Anyhow, this is the last one we got today. Well, now I might put another video up. There we are, Sylvania. I think this was a Continental. Yes, it was. It was made in the EC, the European Community. Which no, I mustn't have my politics. I must keep my trap shut. Sorry about that. It's 240 volts, 500 watts. I'm doing something which I shouldn't do, actually touching the quartz envelope. But as I'm not going to power this bulb up, no harm comes to it. But if it was to be used, it would be advised to wipe that over with a cloth with a little dampened with methylated spirits or pure spirits to remove any grease from your fingers. expect my fingers are covered in grease. There's all the designations. 86 is stamped on the side, which could be year of manufacture. Also GCJ, which is a code, and T25. So you've got plenty of things to work with on that. You've got a bi-pinned base. I don't know the official name of that base. Help me, someone will know. Turn it round, and that's the other side of it. There's no reflectors on this. It's just a normal vertical type filament, which is all connected up. It's never ever been used. It's once again new old stock. So anyhow, thanks again to you all looking at this. You know, any questions, you know what to do. If there's any questions, ask. If I know the answer, I will give it. If I don't, I'm sure there's someone else out there who will know the answer, and that's what it's all about. It's the good points of YouTube. I do like YouTube, and obviously I find it of great interest. It's a way of allowing me to talk. I love talking. You might have guessed that. Anyhow, thanks again for watching. I'm going to pop that down. I'm going to make myself a nice pot of... No, I make tea with tea bags. And enjoy a cup of tea. And I don't know whether I'll put another one up later. I do apologise to the plant people. There's just nothing doing in the greenhouse at the moment. I will add that the latest BCS, British Cactus and Succulent Society journal, popped through my door yesterday, along with the MSG, the Mesem group. They were both demanding money, which they do. This is the time of year which you pay your subs. Money well spent. So that was that. And I know I haven't put anything up about telephones. I must at some time. Anyhow, I'm going to shut up and hope you enjoy. Any comments please make. Thanks again. Thank you.